So here is a behind the scenes showcase of how we use Loom in our sales process. Now Loom is a video tool. Essentially you can use it to record your screen, record yourself, and then simply send those links to clients. You can use this when you're prospecting, you can use this to help you book meetings. We actually use it a lot in the audit process. So our current sales structure is we have a discovery call, then it's Loom audit, and then second discovery call to recap anything we did in that Loom audit. Literally, these help skyrocket our close percentages. So here's one that I did for a luxury fashion brand fairly recently. Enjoy.
Hey, how's it going? Just thought I'd drop you this quick video giving you an audit of your Facebook ad account here. Now, I know you spoke to Cher and she expressed that you were unsure whether Facebook was the platform for you. I know you haven't had the best experience thus far with your Facebook ads journey. But after looking at your ad account, I definitely think it's something that we should consider. I do think, maybe other options like Google should be something, maybe further down the line we visit as well. But right now, I definitely think we shouldn't give up on Facebook, because looking at your data, looking at your ad account, the good news is, and I suppose also the bad news is, there's lots of stuff that isn't great in the account, but the good news is that we've actually spotted a ton of room for improvement. So I'm very positive that we can, at the very least, see a huge positive impact on what you've currently been doing here. So I've got a list of things. If you have any more questions after watching this video, don't hesitate to message Sarah, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to support or help answer any questions that you've got. Okay, so first things first, starting at a very base level, there's quite a lot of ads that actually haven't got a domain selected. This is a big problem in itself straight out the get-go. This is even something that you can do yourself. But basically what this means is we're not going to be showing your ads to about 70% of people that use iOS devices. Basically anyone, I don't know if you've seen it when you go on your iPhone and you get ads, it basically asks you if you want to opt out for the iOS advertising and cookie tracking and things like that. Basically, if you do not select that domain, it's not going to show by default your ads to about 70% of people. So that's a huge thing straight off the bat there, which is an error that I've seen on a lot of the ads inside this account. Okay. Next thing as well, UTMs. It's going to be really important for us to, I know you're giving us Shopify access and things like that. It's going to be really important since iOS 14 changes last year. We need to have as close attribution as possible. Facebook's attribution is far from perfect. So using things like UTMs to be able to track inside of Shopify there is going to be very important to us. So making sure we've got an additional method of tracking using URL parameters is going to be very, very important. We would have that universally selected across all the ads there. Okay, so if we look in terms of another big problem here, obviously you can see here, there's 175 ads. We've got over 61 campaigns in the account. Now, one big thing about scaling is simplicity scales and complexity fails, right? You do not want a over complex ad account. And the very bare bones of this is you want to have a nice structured way to funnel customers through your business. And the best way that we recommend doing this is through a nice structured, less campaigns, but basically a top of funnel scaling campaign, top of funnel creative testing campaign, then a middle and bottom of funnel retargeting, and then post purchase. So I can see here you have got some retargeting campaigns and whatnot set up here, but they're not structured at all. Okay. So first things first, starting from the top, we want to make sure we've got a top of funnel scaling campaign. Now this is a campaign where we put all of our performing ad sets, all of our performing audiences, all of our performing ads. This is a campaign with the sole goal of being evergreen profitable and scaling up. Okay. Now, one of the big things with Facebook is if it's working and it's bringing in tons of sales, it's on a 4 or 5x ROAS, the last thing you want to be doing is constantly going in and messing around with a campaign that's crushing. It's going to re-enter learning phase every time and your results are actually going to plummet. But at the same time, we still want to test, right? So first things first, we want to have a top of funnel scaling evergreen campaign where we put all of our winning, all our performing ads. And inside of that, then, instead of having a ton of different campaigns, we will have our winning audiences, our winning ad sets, and then our winning ads.
Okay, so just to interject, if you're struggling right now to book meetings and you're a beginner, it's likely because you've got no results, no case studies to actually showcase. I understand how difficult it can be when you're going up against prospects who constantly ask for proof of work or to showcase clients or accounts that you've worked on. If you want to say goodbye to that problem forever, we actually have a case studies to leverage service. So if you're interested in being able to show your prospects results, case studies to help yourself build authority as an up and coming agency, check out the link in the description.
Now, next thing we want to do is we want to have then a top of funnel creative testing campaign. This is where we do all of our tests from a creative perspective, be that copy, be that videos, be that headlines, be that images, carousels, and whatnot. What we don't want to do, and we see a lot of accounts do, is you throw those straight into your top of funnel campaign, your top of funnel scaling campaign, without any sort of proven track record. Like I said, all you're going to then do is reset learning. And if you've got no proof of whether this creative or copy actually works, but this campaign is scaling, so it's on a bigger budget, the last thing you want to do is throw something unproven into a higher spending campaign because it could waste a bunch of money. So what we recommend you do instead, nice and structured, again, in its own campaign, is you have a creative testing campaign. And in that, you test different headlines, copies, creatives. Anything that doesn't win, you shut off. Anything that doesn't perform, you shut off. Anything that does really well and proves itself to do well, you then put into your scaling campaign. And as you can imagine then, because this top of funnel creative testing campaign is on a far smaller budget, what that allows you to do is not waste any money, be super lean with it, and make sure only profitable winning ads are actually making their way into the scalable campaign. So those are the two top of funnel campaigns we recommend. And what you can also do as well is an audience testing campaign. So when we get that budget up, when we're bringing in a bunch of sales, things are profitable, we'll throw in an extra top of funnel audience testing campaign as well, where we test different demos, different audiences, different lookalike structures, stacked interest, and things of that nature. Okay, so that's going to be really, really important in terms of our new acquisition. Now, from that, we want to funnel people and we want to make sure we're not, losing any business. We want to make sure we're plugging all the holes. We want to make sure we're grabbing that low-hanging fruit. So if we take a look here over on your events manager now, you've had 25K web visits in the last month, 870 which of people have added to cart, with only the 22 purchases down here. So we've got a huge audience of people, not only have abandoned checkout, but also people who have visited your site without taking any major action. So this is where we want to retarget all of those people. Now, from our experience, this is where things like discount codes and specific offers can do really well, because you're basically providing a bit of urgency. You're providing a discount code for people who are this close to purchasing but maybe backed out for some reason. So, it could be use code get 10, get 20, whatever, right? The goal is to retarget people who have been on your site, who are already really warm, to get them across the line. From our experience, this is usually a very low spend campaign, but brings in fantastic results just because of the warmth of it. You don't have to use discount codes, but from our experience, using things like discount codes here do work tremendous. So definitely something to consider, which we would recommend. Okay, then inside of this middle funnel campaign as well, we'd also retarget any people that have engaged with ads, any social media followers over on Instagram and Facebook, anybody that have viewed videos, anybody who's got some level of warmth of your business would be in this middle and bottom of funnel campaign. Just to basically, the way we see it is just grabbing that low hanging fruit. And from experience, it's usually quite a high return on ad spend campaign. Now, whilst you have, and I've seen you have made an attempt at doing the retargeting in here before, there's no structure to it. I noticed you've narrowed some of these retargeting audiences. It's not segmented. There's not a proper funnel structure to it, and they're set up completely wrong and unoptimally. So yeah, more structure around that would be incredible. You've got a lot of data to play with there, which is great. And then the final piece of the puzzle there, is post-purchase. And this is where basically you get your current customers to buy again. And there's tons of different stuff you can do here. You can bring people into loyalty schemes. You can give people a discount code for purchasing again. We've done experimental fun stuff before where we've said, like, thanks so much for being a loyal customer. Here's 10, 15, 25% off your next order for being a loyal customer. Crazy example, not saying that these are the results we'll achieve for you, but we have had a scenario before where we've turned like $200 into like 50 grand before on like a post-purchase campaign. So they can do really, really well because the warmth's there, they trust you, they've bought from you before. So retargeting those people is something a lot of companies don't do, but has a huge upside potential. So definitely, even if it's on a smaller budget, something that we'd want to implement as part of this structure. And then overall, I think there's a lot. I've had a look at a lot of your ads. Don't get me wrong, your copy and your ads are okay. but I think they could be a lot better. So better creative, better copy, more split tests on that to actually find out exactly what's working. If something's not working, we get rid of it. If something is working, we dive into that angle. Can we experiment with the headline? Can we experiment with a longer form version of that copy? Can, whatever, right? But the key is to test the copy, test the creative, do a lot more of that, and improve it overall, because it definitely think there are a lot of ads that are good, but they could be great, right? So just a bit of an uplift on those. Okay, so overall, the key thing here is there's a lot of potential. The whole account needs a massive restructuring, and there's a lot of improvements to be made, both on a being an iOS compliant perspective, a tracking perspective, and then also in just terms of the whole structure of the account, the audiences, the copy, the creatives. There's definitely a lot that we can do here. And then the final thing I will say, which isn't necessarily something that we do as paid ad experts, we wouldn't be able to come in and help with the site, but just looking at the events manager here, there's definitely a clear sign that there's some big drop off here on your website. So another huge thing would be maybe looking at ways that we can improve the customer experience. We can increase the conversion rate on your site. We can't do that ourselves, but we can consult you on that. If we can help you make some increases to your order value, some tweaks to your checkout process, which mean, rather than closing, low percents in terms of the people that have added to cart, if you can get that even to 10, 15, 20, 25, 50% of this figure, as you can imagine, that alone, excluding what we changed to the ads, is going to have a major impact. So we can obviously consult you on that front as well. But those are just the initial findings off of the base overview. If you have any questions for myself or share, just let me know. And look forward to hopefully working together. Thanks so much.
So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you click here to subscribe and click here to check out more behind the scenes content.